What's up, everybody? King of Fomo here, coming at you with your daily crypto update. Make sure you follow me over there on Telegram. That's t.me/KingofFomo1, as well as my TikTok channel listed right there on the screen. All right, so I'm going to do a state of the Dapps update right now. I know there's a lot of stuff that we've taken a look at and covered and talked about over the past 24 to 48 hours. So I want to look at a few of the things that I really particularly had interest in and see how they all are doing. So there's not really going to be too much new stuff to talk about in this video, but there is plenty of new stuff that I have on the pipeline ready to talk about soon here. So first up, the most recent thing that I talked about was Binance Gold, sitting at about 1,833 BNB tokens, $715,000. Now, with these P3D type of smart contracts, they really can just take off out of nowhere, and they really can just stay pretty stagnant, and they can also completely and totally die. It's pretty difficult to predict these, which is why I'm kind of glad that they're gone. I really like the new types of farms, which are a lot more predictable, and there's a lot more options for you to kind of move your funds around. With these P3D contracts, I mean, you really just have to have patience. That's all it really takes. So Binance Gold, like I said, this comes from the same people that created Gandiji, and Gandiji is a contract that stayed pretty stagnant for maybe 4 to 6 months before it exploded and got upwards of like $16 million in the contract, and a lot of people who bought in early got a lot kicked back to them for buying in early because they had a lot of these tokens. So again, I don't know what's going to happen with Binance Smart Chain. I can't tell you guys when the best time to sell is or when the best time to buy is, or if it's early or late, because I don't know the answer to any of those questions. But it does come from a team of people that have been successful in the past, and that might count for something. Next thing we can talk about, we'll move right along here, is Fork. So the Fork token is doing pretty darn well. So one thing to keep in mind is that Fork is trying to do something similar to what SushiSwap did. So a lot of these other farms remove the migrate liquidity pool option, which is good because, I mean, there's less chance that they're going to steal all of your money. But ForkSwap is actually keeping the remove liquidity pool option. What that means is, yes, they do have the ability to steal all of the money in the entire platform. However, the time lock does help prevent that, or help prevent people from succumbing to become a victim of that. But at the same time, it's necessary if they want to take the liquidity from PancakeSwap and build their own separate exchange. So you notice that what SushiSwap did, they did the same thing. It looked very similar to this, and they successfully stole a great amount. Not stole, I should say took. They took a great amount of the liquidity from Uniswap and put it on their exchange. You saw the day that it happened, Uniswap's total liquidity dropped a significant margin, and that's when SushiSwap kind of became a staple, and people said, huh, these guys are really actually serious about building their platform. So ForkSwap is going in the right direction, going in the direction of doing the same thing. As long as the developer continues to put out updates and continues to communicate with everybody, then it could potentially be the next SushiSwap. Now, another thing to note about what happened with SushiSwap, it had the same price trajectory. It went up a lot, and then it dumped down really hard, and it stayed down low for quite a long time. And then once they migrated the liquidity, it went from a token that was literally pennies. I think it was maybe 12 cents, and it's currently sitting at maybe $30 right now. So again, same thing can potentially happen to ForkSwap. It's just going to take a while for them to generate that trust in the liquidity that they need to be able to do that. Moving on from there, let's just take a look at the price. So the price of Fork right now is at about 30 cents, 29 cents, which is kind of where the all-time low was yesterday. It's a little bit higher than that when you consider the market is down about 10% today. But again, I told you guys before, this is a farming token, so it's kind of good that the price is at this point, because the supply has, I think, more than doubled since yesterday. So you should expect the price to be chopped in half if the supply doubles and the demand stays the same. So overall, I think the demand is up since that supply has gone up so much and that the price has not gone down that much. So again, takes patience. If you guys, like I said, it might not work out. Maybe people will just have the shiny object syndrome and move on to the next one if another one comes out. But at the same time, if they do what they say they're going to do, and they do like show how good developers they are, people might stick around. Moving on to the next one, VikingSwap. So this is a call that I made a few days ago. It's actually still doing extremely well. I think this is the third best decentralized exchange on the Binance Smart Chain. The total value locked over here on VikingSwap is $46 million, which is pretty darn crazy. So 2 hours ago they hit $45 million, and they're still at $88, which is amazing for like 2 days for these types of farms to be at the same price. It means if you've been farming this whole time, you're definitely in profit. And the same case goes with Fork. I know a lot of people are like upset and like, man, I'm down so much. Well, if you weren't farming, you're probably down. So if you were farming, you're up, and same with VikingSwap. If you were farming, you're probably up a lot here too. Goose Finance kind of holding pretty much steady, $88, $86. Total value locked has hovered around 120 to 140 million dollars for the past couple of days. Again, this is one where if you've been farming it from the beginning, you're really not that displeased with anything. $86 is not, super low price. It's not a super high price, but as long as Goose continues to develop stuff, that price can really only go up if people find more trust than they already have in GooseSwap Finance. This is probably the most trustworthy second layer exchange out there besides PancakeSwap. Now let's talk about some of the not so good. SaltSwap down to $28. Now I stopped talking about SaltSwap because they did some weird stuff in the beginning, and again, I really don't advocate paying these developers hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars just for pressing Control C and Control V. And what I mean by that is like we'll see a couple other farms that are Control C, Control V'd, and it doesn't take that much work to do that. It takes maybe 2 hours to get something out if you know how to make deploy smart contracts and copy HTML code. It takes about 2 hours to do that. So that doesn't really mean that the developer deserves $600,000 of the nearly $20 million of liquidity that's being put into here. So that's kind of what happened with these next two that I'm going to talk about. The developers overpaid themselves, people noticed, and they haven't really done much else besides burn tokens. And that can only carry you so much, so far, because again, any platform can do the same thing, Control C, Control V, and burn tokens. So they need to do something a little bit different. That's why this price is down so much, I believe, at $28. And I don't foresee it going up again. Just burning the tokens is not going to it's not going to keep it sustainable. People are just going to go on to the next one. Same with Donut. Donut's down to $5, and again, they did something really stupid where they said, hey guys, we're not going to develop anything. We're just going to keep it like this. So like that's immediately when I said, all right, you got to get out of here. This is going down and it's not going back up. And then they backpedaled on their word. They said, sorry guys, we didn't mean to say that. We'll develop stuff. As soon as people like panicked and said they're gonna sell, and it's like, no, you're just lying so that people don't sell your token anymore. So that's why I knew that this price was kind of gonna dump, and I made an announcement on our Telegram channel saying, hey, these guys, they're not gonna do anything else. They literally just pressed Control C, Control V, and said this is good enough. This should be able to sustain us forever, and it doesn't work like that. You need to provide some sort of value, otherwise you're going to be replaced by somebody else who does the exact same thing, which is pretty much what's happening with Donut. Now, can you still make money with it? Maybe if you swing trade it, but in the long term, probably not. What is this? This is Function Island, Function BIVs, if you will. So BIVs is another smart contract similar to Binance Gold. And again, these are hard, very, very hard to predict, especially if there's multiple ones of them coming out. A lot of times people will just gravitate towards the one of them or the newer one, to be honest, because you make so much more money depositing into these P3D contracts in the beginning as opposed to depositing later and having to wait for the hype. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with BIVs. Again, super hard to predict because people can just gravitate towards these and stick to them. And then when they start growing, it snowballs pretty hard. So we'll see what happens with BIVs. Maybe it'll be successful. They do have a smaller community compared to Binance Gold, which is why I'm a little bit more bullish on Binance Gold, but not much. Maybe the other thing about Binance Gold is like Ethereum Gold / Gandhiji, they released a second contract on the WBTC. They did it one on Ethereum, which went up to like maybe $20 or $30 million. On WBTC, it went up to again like maybe $3 or $6 million, and then so it didn't do as well. It kind of dumped after that and never recovered after like a day or two. So I'm worried that this Binance Smart Chain might do the same thing as the WBTC contract, where it goes up for a day and then it kind of stagnates forever. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then you have some new stuff as well, like Goat Swap. So Goat Swap is brand new. I think there's only like 50 or so holders on here. But do your own research on this. I haven't really looked at this at all. But they do have some pretty high APYs. And I don't know, if you're looking to get in on something from the very beginning and really YOLO it, then Goat Swap is definitely one of those things where you can do that since nobody's really messing around with this too much. Then you also have Nacho DeFi, which this is kind of a lazy clone. A lot of their links are wrong, so their links to their farm just brings you their link to their trade I think brings you to PancakeSwap, and then their link to their Telegram brings you to Goose. So this is a Control C Control V contract that doesn't really have good attachments yet. They do have a deposit fee, but it makes me worried when they have a 4% deposit fee that just goes to the dev wallet, and the dev can say, yeah, we're going to use that to buy back tokens, or they can just say that and not do it. And if they don't have a fully developed website, I don't really want to trust devs with, hundreds of thousands of dollars that don't finish their website. But that's just me. Anyway, that's everything for today. I know there's other things that people have been talking about. Soda Swap, that was one that people were hyping and ranting and raving about. I'm pretty sure that dumped pretty hard. I'm not sure if it's a bad thing or a good thing, but we'll see if it does well. I think they have a lot of time lock, so we'll see in 24 hours what's going on with that one. And a few other ones, but I'll get into all that stuff later. I just wanted to give you a general overview about everything, and I know a lot of people are asking my thoughts on this stuff. Another thing that people that are outside of these coins have been asking me about is Wiseling. So Wiseling, I think that one has not officially, but pretty much scammed out. They were supposed to come back today, and since they're not back today, it's very, very, very worrying, and I think they're probably not going to come back. That's just the way that it works in the high yield investment platform world. Anyway, that's everything for today, guys. Catch you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.